Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm going to go over Bitcoin, update it. There's a lot of people. Well, I would say that a lot of markets still saying Bitcoin's going down, but there's some others that are out there that thinking that like this is going to be going up. I'll show you. I think some pretty good evidence it's going to be going down, guys. From this point right here, and this continuation pattern that I showed on my Twitter page right here. Okay. So people are asking about that. And this is your picture perfect continuation pattern. Now, here's the thing. I've been talking to a few folks and also paying attention on the YouTube videos with this that people have been mentioning that too. And if you want to know what my position is right now, I'm about 98%, 98.5% cash, mostly dollars and very, very little stable coins at this point. Now I can do that really easy and flip to dollars on Kraken. Okay. The other advantage to Kraken, and Kraken has its own bank. Okay. About, you take the money off the exchanges and limit it, but I still have a little bit on MEXC in case I want to do a trade, MEXC Global, and then a little bit on Kraken too. And, very little coins that I have right now. Okay. A little bit of Bitcoin and a little bit of Ethereum and exited out of everything, but I'm 90% cash. That should have, in my opinion, that should have been the strategy right around October, November, and in December, and maybe even going into January, because a lot of the market was still going up. Like you had Near Protocol was still going up really well. You had Phantom was still going up real well. So, the time frame in there to be exiting out of the market and start going to a cash position where you're cash heavy now. Some people are saying, well, isn't 40% good, 50% good, 60% good? Look, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is the crypto market. It is the most volatile asset class in the history of mankind. So I prefer just promoting it through my my videos is that you want to ride these waves and exit out too. So, and then in the bear market, like there's no confirmation. We can all agree right now, whether you're a bull or a bear, that there's no confirmation of any bullish trend right now. Okay. We're in a bearish trend. And if you have $10,000 that you're putting into a long trade right now, because it's a bearish cycle, you should be cutting that way down to like 10 or 15% and putting in $1,000 or $1,500. If it's $1,000 you normally put in a bullish cycle, then you should be cutting it down to $150 or $200 or even lower than that. Okay. And then do that trade. All right. Just as an example. Why? Because in a bear market, you have these, sometimes these waves can be very tricky. Okay. And they can give a signal, kind of like what Bitcoin did over here, and give a signal. It looks like a 5-wave move. And what do they like to do sometimes in these trends? You have to be very careful and watch that. And they like to go just like that and come back down, right? They suck people in and back down. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then the amount that people are holding on to these coins at the top. There's a case for Bitcoin that you could probably hold long term, and that's like more of a retirement type thing. Hey, believe in Bitcoin and things like that. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, and if there's some sort of strategy going on like that, I'll just give you an example, throwing some numbers out there. Well, then you have other assets in your portfolio that are probably traditional financial markets and more other types of assets that are stable, whether it's real estate or you're in some other asset class in the traditional financial markets. Bitcoin should be a minor part of that, like 5% at the most. Okay. Most people probably recommend even less than that, but 5%. So that's a different thing where they have a portfolio and Bitcoin, because it's only 5% of the whole portfolio, as an example, then it's not dragging down the whole portfolio like it would be if you had a big portion of it right now. So that's just how I see it, guys. The other thing is too, that is important in my opinion, that most people don't talk about, is when you have these massive waves, even on Bitcoin, and they go way up. Let's say it went up to 65K, and where are we now? And then Bitcoin makes its trek down to, let's say, 20K, and now it's down here to say 15, 16K. Okay. I think the important part is that this whole section watching a bag, and when these numbers get high, guys, like let's say it's over 6 figures, and they get bigger. Watching numbers crumble is very, very painful. Okay. I'm more of a proponent of taking your profits and paying your tax bill on that. Because not only is it very painful to watch it go down like so, okay, down and down and down. It's very painful. Um, it's you don't feel like a winner, okay, in a way. That's how I see it. And that's why I think it's a better strategy, take most of it, exit out, and then come back down. And then also too, you have once you have this cash position, you can practice, whether this would be your first bear market or bear cycle, practice figuring out these waves. If you can make just a little bit of money in a bearish cycle, you can really have a smoke show in a bull cycle. Okay. That's the other thing too. If you're in this market, I think most of the people who are watching this channel are active, pretty active traders. They're watching my information. So that's the other thing too. So you can do that. And then also the other thing is too, is that if you sold your Bitcoin, let's say you had one Bitcoin and you sold it for 65,000, right? You sold your 65K Bitcoin, right? And you exited out. And then let's say you just were like new and you're practicing going down. And now you have, let's say you have 75, let's say you get 70, this is 5,000, 70K, right? You're just like trying to learn about the bear market and you make some gains. Well, somebody right now that kept their Bitcoin, it's down here. If you think about it, now they have 16. They still have one Bitcoin. Look how many Bitcoin you can get now. What is that? 3, 4, 5? Like 5. You can get 5 Bitcoin now, guys. If you do it on Bitcoin. This person's still at 1 and now you're at 5. You see the difference there? And when you go with this strategy, if you're not like this type of person, just doesn't want to, you don't like want to pay attention to the markets and stuff, you can really, really start making significant gains just by doing some simple strategies where you don't have to be like a super professional to do this. You just have to be somewhere near the bottom and somewhere near the top and just practice on your way down and getting these things done. Now, all right, now I went off on a little bit of a tangent for you guys. And this right here, I went over that with Bitcoin. Now, the other reason I'm saying Bitcoin is going to go down, you got a front runner over here, the GBTC chart, which is looking really, 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 really not good. Not good over here in the GBTC chart, guys. And the GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, there's been a lot of news about that recently. And they're making the assumption that this trust, it's a trust. It doesn't work. Like they just can't start selling Bitcoin like people think. They're not in the crypto environment, even though it's with crypto. So look into that. It's not like, oh, we're just going to dump our Bitcoin. It's going to zero. This is not FTX. So go look into that. It doesn't work quite like that. So it had a dump. It wasn't 16%. I think it started dumping in like this area right here. It dumped 10%, 10%. And normally this front runs Bitcoin because Bitcoin didn't do that, guys. So Bitcoin probably is going to be doing a similar type of dump. Okay. So from this area, so like maybe 10%. So see how that's going down about 15,000. So basically a continuation pattern where I made a video about that, where you take this and you put it there and it's about the same thing. So more than likely that's the same amount of dump. So what am I doing? Right now, with all the data that I have, all that I can do is wait for this to finish. And then I have a completed wave right here, okay? I have a wave sequence right here. And what is Bitcoin going to do from this point? What kind of bounce is it going to be? What kind of reaction is going to be out of there? Is it going to go like this for a while? Are we going to go through something like this again? I hope not. I hope it's not this again, but what kind of reaction are we going to have out of there? With the macro environment and everything that's going on, the Fed over tightening a little bit too much, too fast, and the lack of buyers, the bullishness behind it right now, I just want to see the reaction. What kind of reaction are we going to get there with Bitcoin, guys? So there's definitely just more bearishness in the markets right now. So if you haven't already, just a suggestion, not financial advice, button down the hatches, make sure everything is safe. You know, most of you guys know this. Get everything off the exchanges that you can off the exchanges. I think, you know, I want to say most everything is done, but I thought the same thing up here. You know, after we went through this, I thought most all the capitulation was done here, and obviously that wasn't the case. There was still a straggler, FTX, going sitting around doing their shenanigans. I don't want to go into that too much because there's plenty of other things out there about that. You know, I'm just moving on. It's done. It's over with. And, you know, who's next? Who's next? Is it Gemini? Like I said, what kind of reaction and finding the bottom? If there's like, say, a situation where there's going to be a Binance or something like that that's going to have issues and he's got some shenanigans going on, I hope not. I really hope not, but you're never ever going to know. If that happens, then there's going to be some serious problems, in my opinion. But it remains to be seen right here. Ethereum Grayscale, I was going over paying attention to that. It broke this low. Going to have to see what's going on with this. This right here is not good so far. It does here on the 12-hour chart, got some bullish divergence. You know, maybe it's coming up for a bounce. It looks like the grayscale. Let me go over the grayscale. This chart right here is, you know, I'm just going to wait for it to suss itself out. It's not looking good for Ethereum Grayscale, guys. It's just not right now. So now with the Ethereum Grayscale here, this chart is really this correction here, guys, is like this is pretty, you know, the issue with this correction is it's been in a correction since February of 21. This, in my opinion, is like a lot more painful than this. I mean, at least you got a clear direction and trend. It had an end. This over here is a lot more painful. So that's what I don't like about it. You know, I have no problem with these and these. It's just the time. How much longer is it going to, you know, not so much downside, but just how much longer is it going to hang out in here, guys? How much longer is it going to go blah, 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 and finally get out of there? That's the issue. If it goes down to 579 or like 496, you know, that's going to be a concern. But just looking at the overall trend with GBTC, here's the chart, okay, on the weekly chart. Clearly a nice massive impulse move here. And this is a new sequence. So this is a 1-2. And this is a if it's bullish, it stays bullish. This should be a diagonal. Okay. This should be a diagonal. So you got an impulse move there and then back a correction and an impulse move there and then a massive correction. And you should have an impulse over here for this asset to stay bullish. That's the only other way. Otherwise, it's a three-wave move. Okay. This hit fib targets and everything for a third wave up. You can check it. It hit basically 1.618 right there on the nose. You can see at the top right there. So a nice boom. But if it starts breaking these levels, this easily can turn into a bearish asset. You want to be aware of that, you know, and then do something like that. And then it'd have another three-wave swing over here. Right. And now this asset's future, you know, let's say it maybe does another corrective move up, you know, now it's turned into an ugly type structure. And then, you know, whenever it finishes something over here and resets the whole thing, and then it gets into a bullish sequence. That's the long-term issue that I see with GBTC right now, guys, that you know, want to know, is that going to be happening? Is it not going to be happening? Who knows? The positive side to it is that it's come down deep into the RSI over here, reset that whole cycle, not deep over there. And it does have some bullish divergence. It's maintaining right here in this area. So, and the other positive thing is that you can go look this up. This is you know, over the counter. This is a regulated type thing, the SEC filings and all the other stuff. And then, you know, Cathie Wood and some other people are going in buying GBTC in this area. You know, And people are like on the Twitter page over there, oh, well, why would they be buying? Be losing money. Look, these groups are not like looking at this to make a trade over the next 2 weeks. Long term, like a buy here, maybe get a little bit more, and they're looking at it long term. So 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 4 years or something like that. So that's how you have to think about it. So there's positive and there's negative. Written all over it, guys. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin. So over the next, I would say, let's go to a 4-hour chart with Bitcoin. Is over the next, week, 2 weeks. Get down here and see what kind of reaction is going to be off the bottom there. I'm going to be watching that, and I'm still trying to determine whether I want to do a short trade on Ethereum or Bitcoin. It's looking like Bitcoin is going to be the safer one if you want to do a short. With Ethereum here, I'd say, it's just looking like Bitcoin's going to be the safer deal if you want to do a short. But anyhow, after that, and then it's going to come down, I'm going to see the reaction, and I'm going to be looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then maybe some potential plays on some altcoins. Okay, guys, that are actually in a bullish sequence to be able to ride those waves up and do a little bit of a trade and exit out of it. More of a swing trade, not a day trade, a swing trade. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. I know I went on a little bit. Let's let you know, but it's not all, there's a lot of negative going around in the markets. There's a lot of uncertainty in the markets. And all you can do at this point, what I'm doing is just like, hey, let it finish and see what kind of reaction you're going to get out of there. So, at this point, we're so close. I want to say we're so close, somewhere near the bottom. And then the long-term thing too is, what's going to be the situation here with this massive correction once Bitcoin is in this area, how deep, and then how long is it going to consolidate? My preference is I want to see it above this 14,000 and stay above there. I think there's going to be a faster reaction to get out of there. Some people want this 9,000 that's going below, and they're talking about, I don't understand. I keep seeing that people repeating that it has to go to 10 because it has no support. That simply is not true. There's support right here that it's right on top of, right there. Okay. Then there's here. Okay. Right here. There's actually some right in there too. And there's here. Okay. And there's actually here. So there's plenty of support levels before 10K. I just don't know why people keep calling 10K. I guess it's just because it's a round number. But if you take the general area too, it's probably what they're thinking of, something like that. Okay. Just a general support area. But I don't want to see Bitcoin down below these areas, guys. I just don't want to. And I made previous videos about that. And the reason I say that is because people are holding Bitcoin up here and it's down below this round number of 10K. What are they going to be thinking? What are they going to be thinking? Like, oh my gosh, what's going on with Bitcoin? And then you got people maybe been holding it since over here, the 6, right? Think if you had a big bag of Bitcoin, right? At say 6K, and it comes down below 10, now you start looking at significant losses on a bag over here. Or these people that had even over here, if it dropped from 10 to 8K, that's 20%. You got a pretty big bag. You start thinking, oh, wait a second. Maybe they'll start selling. These people could start selling a little bit more. And then you're going to need new buyers come in here to start getting this to consolidate and get it out of there. So it could be a lot longer down there. That's what I'm looking at. So you really want it to stay above this 14, in my opinion. Best case scenario, and not be going down there. Could you do a wick? I'll go for a wick, but preferably nothing. That's how I see it. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor. Drop a like. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.